Are one of these movies your new favorite? Let's find out.
Welcome back, sir. All systems for gaming will be prepared in a few minutes. For now, feel free to grab a cup of coffee and have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mike here. Welcome back to the Movie Man Cave, and today's video is all about the movies that I have watched in the last month since my last update. And if you saw last month's update, you know it was something like 31 or something films. I can't even remember. I think it was an obscene amount of movies. This month, the basement has, or I guess I would say in July, end of July, early August, the basement's been torn up. I haven't had access to the movies. So I've just been pulling out a few that I've picked up or gotten in recently or was lucky enough to find. So I thought I would go through a few of these. One of them is actually one that I do not own. These aren't in any specific order of the way I watched them, but we completed kind of our quadrilogy of the Witch Mountain series. If you watched last month, you know I had watched, what was it? Return to Witch Mountain, Escape from Witch Mountain, which I think I got those two backwards. But then they have a TV movie, but it was basically a bootleg version of the 45-minute movie of Beyond Witch Mountain. But we found Race to Witch Mountain a long time ago and decided to go ahead and pick it up. And you can see in this one, actually, this has been a really nice because I've been able to use the DVD hubs that I printed and I 3D print myself. Maybe I should make these available on Etsy. And then I'm able to just kind of, rather than get a 2-pack case of the white cases, I can just convert it to a 2-pack case because a lot of these old Disney Blu-rays came with the DVD, but I don't have a 2-pack case, so it's been really nice. But that's not why you're here. The movie itself is better than I remember. I will say that it's not really a continuation. You can tell it's a complete reboot of the Witch Mountain series, but you have these two kids whose I can't remember their name, but they both start with S's because the other ones both started with T's. And so they're kind of going with the theme, but basically it's more or less the same. They're aliens. They're trying to get back to Witch Mountain, which is never really explained. In this one, it's a little bit more sci-fi, so it's a little bit more sci-fi. The Rock, he plays a cab driver, but he's got a past, and he's in trouble with some people and stuff like that. So it's kind of, it was okay. Like you can tell, is a early to late 2010-ish movie. I don't know exactly when this came out, but trying to reboot the Witch Mountain series. And I finished this and I was like, you know what? It's decent. It's better than I remembered. But I am almost convinced after watching the entirety of the Witch Mountain series, there is a good story about two alien kids who have crashed on Earth and are trying to get home. There's a good story in here somewhere to be told. I do like the original two movies. They're cute. They're old Disney movies. But I don't think this one does it justice. This one leaned way too heavy into the action element of the movie that really didn't exist in the original series. But I think there's like, honestly, there's a pretty good story. Maybe it's like story of like X-Men, so maybe they're gonna do it on the Marvel side. But I really feel like there's something to this, I would say, franchise to have these like two alien kids that have crash landed here. They're trying to get home. There's people after them because they have basically superpowers, is really what it amounts to. They kind of have a limited set, but like basically they're mutants, is what what it comes to. Decent movie, but I would like to see someone try to, like, I would say, reboot this franchise in a legitimate way, not just kind of like as a cash grab, like we're going to make some explosions and stuff like that. I think there's a good story to be told here. And then my wife's pick for our Saturday movie night, she wanted to watch The Breakfast Club. This is a classic movie that I had not seen in years. I was actually very lucky because she said she wanted to watch this, and just so happened the B box of movies that I had packed up was accessible and I was able to find it and really enjoyed this. It has been so long since I've seen this movie a number of times, but it's like kind of funny what you forget as you go through and kind of time has passed. But if you haven't seen The Breakfast Club, it's basically, it starts off with this group of five. They're just going to detention on a Saturday at their high school, and you kind of find out there are different, let's say, classes or stereotypes of people. You have the nerd, you have this kind of like, I would guess you would call him like, I don't know, emo kind of punk rock guy. He's anti-establishment. You have the prom queen, you have the athlete, and then I guess you would quantify her as kind of the outcast. And so they're all the stereotypes of what you would think when you think of those stereotypes. Through the course of the movie, you find out they have a lot more in common than you initially think. And I don't want to say they become friends at the end because they actually discuss that. Like on Monday when we see each other on campus, are you going to say hello to one another kind of thing? Or what are your friends going to talk? So it kind of covers like the peer pressure when you're in high school. I think this is one of those movies that's really timeless because I'm not in high school. I haven't been in high school for a very long time. I don't think you could pay me to go back to high school. But I think like the feeling of not fitting in and peer pressure, I think that's just a human condition. Like that's never going to change. I mean, you feel it as adults too, just when you go to work and depending on your environment at work. Classic John Hughes movie. Absolutely love this movie. Really enjoyed the rewatch of it. And honestly, even though it's in the 80s and they play certain things, doesn't feel dated at all. A new movie that I got in and immediately watched was this In the Gray. It's a Guy Ritchie movie written and directed by Guy Ritchie. Stars Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal. Those are the two big names, and I can't remember, I don't know how to say her name. Isa Gonzalez, like I have a huge crush on her. She was in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, another Guy Ritchie, Henry Cavill movie. This movie felt in some ways like a combination of Ritchie's The Covenant and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. No shock because those two actors starred in each one of those movies. It's got the Guy Ritchie slick talking, slick feeling, like kind of like everybody's cool and stuff like that. It's got, if you like Guy Ritchie movies, which I do, you'll probably like this movie. Is it his best movie? I don't think so. The basic story is it starts off with, oh, and I should say Rosamund Pike is in it. She kind of plays a character, unclear as to what her actual role is. But Rosamund Pike, her company gets billions stolen from him, basically from this like dictator. And so Isa Gonzalez and is hired to get the money back. And then I would say Henry and Jake are more or less like her fixers. She's the guy, they're the guys that are put in charge to make sure she gets off this island safe and unharmed. So they put together a team. It's not really a heist movie because you think they're trying to get money back, but it's more like she's going in to negotiate to get the money back, but they realize their life's in danger. And so they're kind of ensure that like nothing goes wrong and they can get her off the island. It's a little bit of a difficult movie to explain, but it's heist-ish, but it's also, like I said, really good combination. If you think of what the baby of the Covenant and the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare would be, I would say it's In the Gray. Do you like Guy Ritchie movies? I'd really love to hear from you in the comments below. I tend to like all the ones that he writes and directs himself. I have never seen Swept Away because I just can't bring myself to watch Madonna. And I've never seen Aladdin because I have no interest in a Guy Ritchie Disney movie, to be perfectly honest. Other than maybe the Sherlock Holmes, which I guess qualify as Disney movies now. Another one I watched was Beerfest. I've just been in the mood. I think last month, maybe it was in my flea market hauls where I picked up Super Troopers, but I had picked up Beerfest. I was just in the mood to watch some Broken Lizard movies and decided to watch Beerfest. Honestly, really funny movie. Cloris Leachman is a treasure. I think she's great in pretty much everything, especially when you put her in like these comedies. I love her in this. I love her in Spanglish, the two movies. Not related in any way, shape, or form, but I love her characters in both of those movies. Not dissimilar characters. It's kind of that old lady who says inappropriate things at time or not exactly who you think they were. Fest, it's a ridiculous movie by Broken Lizard. Basically, it comes down to, I would say, these two guys, their grandfather dies, heavy drinkers, in general, all throughout their family. They have German heritage. They go to they want to put their father's ashes at this certain place. They find out there's this beer tournament called Beerfest. There's no American team because Americans can't drink. I think the English team and the German team are kind of the powerhouses there. And so these two guys decide to put together a team with this cast of characters. And it's ridiculous. Like it's just completely ridiculous. Like it's funny. And if you like Broken Lizard stuff, I think you would like this. Dumb comedy, totally worth it. Another Jake Gyllenhaal movie is I watched Source Code. I think I picked this up at the flea market, and this was my Saturday movie pick one Saturday and decided to watch it. I really enjoy this movie. I did not realize that it was until I saw this cover that it was from Duncan Jones, the director of Moon, and I absolutely love Moon. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. I really enjoy it. It starts up, it's very sci-fi-ish. It says Jake Gyllenhaal stars in this mind-bending action thriller about an experimental government program used to prevent a deadly terrorist attack in downtown Chicago. If you don't want spoilers, skip ahead. I keep chapters here so you don't have to hear anything. The basic premise is it starts off Jake Gyllenhaal. It's a military installation, and it's here in Vera Farmiga. Jeffrey Wright is in this movie as well. Michelle Monaghan, I think that's the right Monaghan. She's in this movie. And it just starts off with him on a train traveling to Chicago and stuff happens. He doesn't really know where he is. He doesn't know what's going on. He's not who she thinks he is. They explain that very early in the movie. And then the train explodes. And then all of a sudden he's in this government installation and Vera Farmiga is kind of grilling him about what he saw. And his job is to basically jump kind of quantum leap style into a body and figure out who set the bomb. That's kind of the premise of the movie. But it becomes a lot more of that. And the way it's a little bit of Groundhog Day because you repeat stuff over and over again, but it's not boring and it kind of advances the story and it does a lot more. And it brings up some really interesting stuff at the end to the point where like I really had to look it up again because I was like, I'm not sure. I think I understand the ending, but I'm not sure. And I did, but they kind of leave you up to, it leaves it up to you on what you think the ending is. But really good movie. I cannot recommend it highly enough. And then a movie, I have no idea why I was in the mood to watch it. Maybe because I've been in the mood for like, I would say Sword and Sandals movie, which this doesn't qualify, but it's the movie Sheena. I got this on Amazon for $8, stars Tanya Roberts. If you've seen this movie is rated PG. I saw it as a kid, a very young kid, and we'll just say this movie made an impact on me. If you've seen this movie, you probably know why. It's a PG movie, does not shy away from nudity, so if you got kids and you think of like, oh, I'm going to show my kids the movie Sheena because she talks to animals, you probably want to rethink that. Now and then, this would not be PG-13. This would probably, I would say maybe rated R if they released this kind of movie today. But you can see it is a PG movie. I was just in the mood to watch it. I think because I watched Beastmaster not that long ago. This was kind of one of those ones I was like, I remember really liking this when I saw it as a kid. It's a story of Sheena, the Tanya Roberts character. Her parents go to what I'm pretty sure is a country in Africa. They go to Africa. Her parents die. Again, if you don't want to know anything about the movie, just skip ahead to the next chapter. But her parents die, and so she's raised by the tribe. But it's this kind of like tribe that is untouched by most of civilization, and they're protected. But then stuff happens. This American sports crew, kind of like ESPN-ish crew, comes in, and they end up seeing Sheena, and she's, of course, the only white woman in this tribe of Africans. And stuff happens and goes on, and so, but she has the ability to like kind of talk to animals. Not the same way that Beastmaster does. It's almost like telepathically communicate with animals, so she's able to get help from animals. And so it's her and the one guy who ends up being the love interest kind of trying to solve a murder and absolve and save her tribe at the same time. And of course, in the beginning of the movie, which I would say a lot of movies, even nowadays, it's like the white person has to come in and save all the black people from whatever. And this is definitely like that because, of course, this little white girl who's a very small child when they raise her is prophesied to save the tribe. It's not great. It's not a great movie, but it is a lot of fun, and it was fun to watch this time, and it was even more fun to watch it and realize like this was a PG movie. I'm sure that's why my dad let me watch it. My dad did not have problems with nudity. He had problems with violence and language, but it just kind of cracks me up to be like, man, PG got away with a lot when we were in the 80s. And the last movie we watched, my wife's pick for Disney Movie Night, was Doug's first movie. This is actually not my copy, and this is sealed, so you're probably like, how'd you watch this? Because we couldn't find it. This was packed away, and my wife, I got this for her for Christmas because this, I don't think ever made it the jump on Blu-ray. She loves Doug. She loved all of it, and she had never seen this, so when I saw this, when I was looking stuff up for Christmas ideas, but then we just ended up watching it on Disney Plus because, again, we couldn't find it, and when I was looking for something else, it turned out I found this one, so I pulled it out. If you've seen Doug, it's a fun movie. It's kind of one of those, I remember watching Doug when I was a kid, so I'm not like well versed in all the stuff, but Doug and his friend kind of like they're on the hunt for this like monster, and basically what ends up happening is they find the monster and they think they want to expose it to become like famous or something like that, to the effect of being famous to everyone. But then they kind of realize like, oh, if we realize, like, people realize that there's this monster, then people are gonna like experiment on it and stuff like that. So it kind of takes a little bit of a twist in that way. That's not really the point of the story, but obviously Patty is Doug's love interest, and there's kind of like a triangle there with another guy that kind of brings some of the tension, and Doug can't really tell Patty what's going on, so she thinks he's lying to him. It's like, I mean, it's a Disney movie, or I guess maybe Nickelodeon, I don't know. It was fun. It was kind of one of those things, like Michelle, she really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was just kind of one of those movies, like sometimes you just want a movie that it's just like, I just want to sit back and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to overthink it. I don't want to analyze. I don't want to be like, oh, nitpick. I just want to sit down and watch a movie. This was exactly that. This is a stack of movies that I watched for this month, basically the month of July. Not a lot. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 movies that I watched this last month. Again, not as many as I had the previous month, or really in most months, but I'm not counting the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that I watched when we were at the hotel on vacation, which, by the way, watching TV, watching a movie on television, which I haven't done for a long time, is still a horrible experience because there's way too many commercials. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And don't forget, collect what you love.